The other day, I was at the gas station. The sticker on the back of my car says, "Please be patient, I am 9 years old." I'm getting gas by myself. The attendant still comes over. "No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm okay." I try my best not to talk to people during the day, even though that is a problem and I need to fix that. I do think it is the reason I'm quite heavily disturbed, and I do think I need to start reintegrating conversation. So if you're looking for someone to converse with in my area, don't hesitate to come up. Anyways, back to the story. I'm at the gas station. The lady comes up. She says, "Oh, I love the sticker you have." I don't know why she's from Long Island. I guess all old ladies are kind of from Long Island. When you're like a theater kid, you're gonna get to an accent, and you gotta get into like the headspace. Normally, old women are from New England. Did I say New Orleans? I don't actually remember what I said. New Jersey? So many news. Everything's new nowadays. Actually, nothing's new nowadays. Actually, I hate how everything isn't new. Back to the story. I'm like, "Yeah, haha, like, thanks for liking my sticker." And then there's a bit of a lull in the conversation, and she goes, I hate when people have the sticker on the back of their car that says student driver." And then there's another lull. I didn't say anything that time. And then she goes, "You should never say hate. Hate is a bad word." Then she walks away. And I think there's something to glean from that. Don't you? Listener? Hate is a bad word. It's a strong word. What do you hate? You know what I hate? Oh, I don't know. I'm so full of love. I'm so full of positivity and happiness and just joy galore. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling wonderful. I'm feeling Pooderschmood. Welcome to the Pudecast. Well, today I'm not Pooderschmood. I am Schmooderpood. Pooderschmood was raptured, and I know that felt like it was a one-off story post, but no, he's gone. He's gone. Don't know if I'll pick up clowning again. Also, don't mention my sunglasses. The thing broke. The eyebrow broke over here. You can tell. Now it's even, and the point still comes across. So don't come for me. All you people saying, "Oh, I have OCD. Can it be like equal on both sides?" It can never be equal on both sides. Do you know America? All women do is fight for equal on both sides, but it never is. Wake up. Charlie Kirk is dead. We don't need to get into it. That sounded like I was mourning his death, and trust me, I didn't. And if you want to fire me from my job, good luck. I already got fired. Not really. I'm on a leave, but is he ever gonna... I actually can't get into it. Actually, I can get into it and will later on. I do want to talk about the fact, the Mact of the Fatter is what I really want to be getting into today, if I'm honest. And the Mact of the Fatter is that I'm the fatter. Get it? Okay. Didn't land. That's okay. We'll move on. The fact of the matter is that I have had, from, what is it, October-ish? From last October to this October, I've had the worst year of my life. And as I begin this podcast, this is the first episode after all. There's not been ones before this. This is the first one. Let's begin with an ending. How about that? Let's put a close to the chapter that was October to October of this past year. So let's begin. I get fired from my accounting job in May. So actually, let's go back to May. Actually, it was June. So remember when I said that we're going to start in October? What I meant was we're going to start in June. You can see how I got confused. June rolls around, and my boss is like, "Hey, you're kind of not like that important," and we're like moving buildings, like the whole company, and like you're not really like super, how you say, necessary for going forward for us in the company. So you just gotta go. And I remember actually that day, she was like, "I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you after your shift." And I was like, "Okay." And then I texted her during my shift. I was like, I'm a little nervous. So how about we just do that now?" She says, "You know what? Okay." So then just for the rest of my shift, which was about 2 hours, she sits me down in a room and she goes, "You can't. You gone." With my other boss, by the way. And they're just, she also played me a song on her phone. She went, "Yeah, this is rough, but I know about getting through hard times. My husband was in jail. Here's a song I hired someone on Fiverr to write about the both of us." And so she had me sit down and listen to like a 3-minute song that she didn't write, but certainly had someone write about their romance. It was very AI generated before AI was really a thing, except for this was last year, so AI kind of was a thing. Honestly, looking back, was this AI? I'm gonna say, yeah, probably. I'm gonna do a big swing and say that is probably the case. I understand. Am I upset? Not really. How long did I work at that job? About 3 years. It was fine. I've talked about it before. I was just an intern. I wasn't doing nothing on the computers. I would come into the accounting firm. They'd go, "Jude, go into the kitchen." And so I would oblige. Not much I can do, is there? Yeah, basically every day they would go, "Can you clean the fridge?" So basically I had this accounting job where I cleaned the fridge every day. That's not really a joke. I had a lot of accounting people friends that were interns. I had a big fat crush on one of them. He went to a wedding. I'm sorry. That was funnier in my head. Actually, I didn't even think about it before I did that, which is kind of most of what I've been saying. Just talking before actually thinking about it. Okay. Moving on. Just checking if this mic is on. He apparently we had a mutual friend in common, and we went to a wedding together. And I was dancing really hard at that wedding. I did the splits as I normally do, because when you're a gay person and you know a dance move, you're going to do that everywhere. When you're a gay person and you know a dance move, you're probably going to do it at a wedding. People are probably going to really like it because it's a lot of straight people and they kind of don't really know how, like, they don't live a fun life. So when you do like the splits or something in front of them, they love it. But you do know what straight people love? Backflips. I knew this at the wedding before Benson Boone was alive. Anyways, yeah, the interns were fun. The intern job was interesting. There was a little back room. Inside the kitchen was a storage room, and in that storage room I would just kind of sit down. There weren't chairs, so I would sit on the ground. And I would just kind of look up at the paper plates and wonder what else I could be doing. I would steal a lot of stationery, and I would draw clown costumes when I was starting out. And that was really fun. And I remember the good old days of pretending like I was organizing the cleaning supplies when I was just sitting on the ground. That's where I can't talk about that yet. I haven't released that project yet. It's whatever. A lot happened at that job. That was my first job I ever had. I worked there for 3 years, and then they canned me. So then I get on unemployment. I make a bunch of clown costumes. I go full force on the clown stuff. enter a bit of a spiritual psychosis. Don't know if I actually entered it or just maintained it and it had been going on for the past couple years. We will explore that in later episodes. And I was really banking on the fact that I was going to be a full-time clown. And then when the unemployment ran out, I said, I'm not where I should be. I'm 20 years old. I should have $1 million. I had to get a dog sitting job. This is when October hits. What's it when you audition for a job? What's that called? I'm not going to remember, and I shouldn't pretend like I'm going to. I auditioned for that job. I get the job. I start the job. It's the worst thing I've ever done in my whole life, actually, right off the bat. So it felt like, oh my gosh, I get paid to just kind of lounge out at someone's house. Just like maybe watch after their dog. Well, not maybe. That's kind of the whole job. That was like the whole, that was the whole thing, actually. So really funny how I put that in the back of my head when that was the gig. I get to the first house and I know, oh, this is about to be really bad. This is going to be really bad. No one tells you that living in someone else's house for a week is a bit awkward. And I basically had to live out of my car and had to have everything I owned pack at a moment's notice to go to a different house. And there was no structure or stability in my life. I literally lived in another city 3 times a month. And sounds fun, don't it? It wasn't. So let's just actually go through the houses. We go to the first house. Only thing I do is eat pizza that they bought for me, very grateful for, and watch Agatha all along. Supposed to walk the dog. I'm too depressed to go outside. Sorry to this family. I see a billboard for the dad all the time when I drive home from anywhere. So it's nice to reconnect. It's nice to see where we've been since the time. The dog was nice. Lady Gaga dropped a song, and I remember that being the only source of joy for me. Well, that's a lie. I also really liked watching Agatha all along. Great television show. Catherine Hahn is great. Lesbian show. I love lesbians. I didn't have a choice either way. Yeah, I also, a really fun thing I did at every single house was when I would get to my bedroom, I would rearrange all the furniture. What I found out about myself is that I am unwell and I have to sleep in a very particular situation. Doesn't matter how big the bed is. I need it up against the wall and I need to wedge myself into the corner where the bed and the wall meet. And I have to, here's exactly how I sleep. As before mentioned, up against the corner, I have a big, thick comforter that isn't my comforter in between me and the wall. And I use that for big blanket, big warm. When I need to get big blanket, big warm. And then I have a throw blanket. That's my main one. That's my diva. That's my friend. Because it's cold, but it's thick. And I like the pressure. I don't like to be too hot. Then we have a quilt. She's kind of down by my feet, and I need her when I need her, and I don't when I don't need her. Then I have a pillow up against the headboard, pillow right here under my head, and then a blanket above the pillow under my head, so then the pillow is ever malleable into whatever shape I need it to be in the given moment. Then we have the comforter of the bed, folded in half right next to me. This creates some sort of barrier where I'm really wedged into a situation. It's like, those 70s houses when you had to take a step down into the living room. It's sort of like that, but it's a bed. It's sort of like walking down into a living room that has a step, but instead of a living room and a step, it's a bed and I'm sleeping in it. And it's a comforter, not a step. And I have the air conditioner facing me and I have a fan in front of the air conditioner positioned at an angle to cool my body but not make my face go cold, because then I can't really breathe and I get really dry mouth, and I don't drink as much water as I should, and I feel like I show it on my face. I feel like my face looks like someone who doesn't drink enough water, because I don't. But also it looks like I drink so much water. Water retention. I'm biggie. And I like that about myself. I actually enjoy the fact that I'm thick, because I think sometimes I look at people with really thin legs and I get really scared that they're going to break. And I don't think that's, rational. But I do think it's true. I do just get really scared when someone has really thin legs in front of me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that could break at any second. It's sort of like, oh, don't put my hand in the thing. Don't put my hand in the don't put my hand down the sink drain, because what's that called? It's not decomposition. It's the thing. It's the big blades in the sink. Crazy. Who was like, what we need is big blades in this sink that just whir around and cut stuff up when it's down there. I've lost many a little spoon in there. I love a little spoon because I like sauces and I like mixing up sauces. Because sometimes, you need to mix up a sauce. Sometimes you need barbecue ranch mixed up together, campfire sauce, Red Robin. I love you, Red Robin. Oh my God, I love Red Robin. We need to go back to the dog sitting. So that's the first house. Second house, this is during Halloween when I did the Fall of Puderschmood. Again, spiritual psychosis. I thought that I didn't think it was like I just thought it would be the moment. And then it wasn't. Then I'm in a house 2 hours away from where I live. That's a lie. I'm overreacting because it was difficult. An hour away from where I live and an hour and a half from where the parties for Halloweener I was going to be at. So I had to do 1 hour Wednesday for family dinner. Sorry about it, dog people. I got to go to family dinner on Wednesday night, so you can't keep me from that. And then the next day I have Halloweener party. Next day I have Halloweener party. So it's a bit of a sticky situation. The house was lovely. I went to St. Vincent's thrift store in that city. It was wonderful. I can't even lie to you. It was really nice. Third house I get to and the family's still there. I said, oh, I don't think you understand how this works. I get here when you're gone. It's also 9:00 at night and you live actually 2 miles away from the nearest building. This is a farm. Not over exaggerating. This is 2 miles from the next building. It's a farmhouse, and then you guessed it, the farm, and those are the two buildings in close by. Close by. Why did I repeat myself? Sorry, my microphone got a little handsy. So get to that house. Yeah, they're still packing up their car. And look, I don't know if I have to say this. I don't know if I have to qualify this, but you're kind of supposed to be gone for like a little bit before the dog sitter gets there, because you don't want to interact with them. Guess this is just a hug and kiss kind of family. The dad fingered me, so I guess that's something. I'm just kidding. So that house is awful. There is a camera. There is a camera in the ceiling, mounted in the ceiling, facing my bed. And it's a big room. And there's lots of weird little corners in there in the dark. And also, my bed can't be moved. I can't move my bed to the corner. I slept for 3 hours a night. And also, the sun was like in and out of the house. Also, another thing about dog sitting, if you needed this to be qualified, I'm a bit worried about you. No one should be there. If I'm dog sitting, I'd like to be alone. I'd not like to be walked in on watching well, I don't know, something really cringe like Liv and Maddie. I don't want to be walked in on by your 14-year-old son while I'm watching Liv and Maddie. And then he does what? He just walks in, he goes to his room for 10 minutes and then goes away? I don't know what that's about. I don't understand. Where was he? Why was he not on vacation with you? Do you not like your son? The parents were married, so this wasn't like a mom-dad situation. this wasn't like a mom-dad situation where you go to mom, you go to dad. That was his dad. He called him dad. And if he calls his stepdad dad, that's weird. Maybe it was like a baby situation. They separated when they was a baby. He knew him his whole life. I'm not going to judge you, but what I am going to judge you for is the camera facing me. But I'm not, because it turns out the kid was the kid who lived in it had like a wheelchair and a lot of disabilities and like needed to be watched. So that's fine. It's a totally fine situation. Also, while I was there, I get a call from my boss, and he's like, "Did you feed the dogs something bad?" Because I had just left the last house, and I was like, "Oh my god." Did I just get to the worst house of my life and I'm about to be told that I killed the last dog? Luckily, we were fine. But also, hold on. Actually, the reason he asked me was because the old lady said, "Yeah, Lucy's just smelling weird." And then you kicked up that much dust over that? You caused such a scenario in my head? Don't you know me? Not really. He didn't really know me that well. He was a nice guy. I was a little afraid that he was a little too similar to me and that was going to be my future. And I do think that put me through a crisis. So these 3 dog sitting situations, I realized maybe I'm not connected to loving life as much as I thought I was. Maybe suicidal ideation is my girlfriend. Maybe suicidal ideation is my boyfriend. I don't know. I don't know the gender. Love. Let's go to the 4th house. The 4th house. What was the 4th house? I think the 4th house is when I went back to the 1st house. And the dog liked me a lot more that time. The dog was chilling and having fun with me. That dog was a Kiki. That dog is also like down the street. He's not that far away. I could go say hi. I'm not going to. Maybe I'll see him on a walk. Aww. Hi. Hi. Anyways, that was a good house too. They left cookies for me. I would still never do that ever again. Literally no one could ever pay me to do that again. Let's go on to the 5th house. Boy, were they smokers. And boy, could you smell when you went out to the garage to get a Diet Coke in the fridge. Yeah, yikes. Those dogs fucking hated me. Those dogs so they had a doggy door that didn't lock, and so the dogs the whole day from when I woke up to from when I went to bed would just run outside because they hated me so much, and would just like stay out there facing the glass door, and when I would walk by they would bark the whole time. So I just like didn't go into the living room, and I didn't go into the kitchen. I would steal something from the fridge and just go back to the bedroom and just wait. And then at night they would get too cold or something and just come in and just sit on the couch, and then that's how I would have to like close the door. Because otherwise they would just be staying outside. Sorry to these dogs. Boy, were they awful. It also happened during Thanksgiving, and also the day before Thanksgiving, because that's a Thursday, was of course Wednesday family dinner. And I remember from the moment I left in my car to go to Wednesday night family dinner till the moment I got there, I was scream crying because I just hated my life. And I remember just like wiping the tears, going inside, eating a big old Caesar salad. That fixed me a little bit. Can't lie. A good Caesar salad, who isn't that gonna fix? Who want that good fix? Caesar salad. Delish. Then we go to the next house, and I can't think. Is there any houses that I'm missing? I don't know. We go to this house, and this one's also in the middle of nowhere, but it's like 4 houses in the middle of nowhere, and that's really fun. And they were fenced in, but the fence was so big it was like on the side of a hill, but they owned the entire hill and like 12 more acres of land. And they would just go, yeah, keep. The dad would. The dad, that's literally how he sounded. he went, yeah, just like let them out the front door, but like keep an eye on them. And it's like, sir, you have like 400 acres of land, and you want me to just like casually keep an eye on them? They could run into Timbuktu. What is Timbuktu? Anyways, Timbuktu, what is that? $5 bills? 2 $5 bills? $10? 2? Get it? God, I'm fucking hilarious. I'm sorry. But yeah, it was so weird. Also, they didn't have curtains in their home. They were that kind of almond family that woke up with the sunset. I didn't want to do that. Also couldn't move the bed in their house either. So I didn't sleep much that time either. And then the dogs were very kind, a little too kind, a little wouldn't leave me alone kind. And this is where I finally feel safe enough to start sewing again, because I couldn't the whole time because I was depressed. This is like December-ish. November, December. I also didn't take a shower at that house. Not because I was scared, I just didn't want to take a shower. I shouldn't admit that. I didn't actually, because when I would stay at these houses, I wouldn't leave. It would be like a week long, and I would leave the house once. Also didn't pay very well. I bought this camera dough. That's something. Let's move on. This house was okay. No creepy. It was just dark at night, but I felt safe. Oh, right. I forgot about that. I have to tell you about that. So the older dog, very kind, very pretty, very beautiful, very kind. She looked to me with love in her eyes, and that was reciprocated. She had a liver problem, so I had to give her a bunch of things. Specific food at specific times. You got to soften it with water and a little bit of rice, put it in the microwave for a little bit, put these fish oil drops in it. She needs Tylenol, dog Tylenol, or maybe it's a different dog medicine. Dog autism, because Trump just said that Tylenol gives you autism. Dog autism, Tylenol, dog autism. Just found out what today's episode is going to be called. Moving on, actually continuing what I was saying. And then she had this specific medication that I had to give her that was like prescribed, and perhaps the prescription drug was the one I forgot to give her the whole time. But I did everything else for her liver. If she had died, the guy would have told me. Just saying. And so what I did was I had to, I'm not proud of this. I counted the amount of days that I was at that house, and then I put that amount of pills into my backpack, because I only realized that I hadn't been giving her those pills until the last day that I was there. And I went, oh. So then I counted the amount of days that I was there, and I took that amount of pills and I put it in my backpack. So that, because if they were like almond family like that, then of course they were pill counting, and so I just took the dog pills and I just put them in my backpack. But actually no, but it was just bad. That's just not a good thing to do. Me about to qualify it. Qualify is the word of the day. The day of the word of the day. But yeah, so I'm not proud of that. And I the other day I was looking through my backpack and I found one of the pills, and I thought I'd throw them all away. Then we get to my last house. She was a character. I loved her. This was the first house that had a cat. Oh, thank goodness. Look, I was prepared to sit any animal. I've had many animals. It was just a little house, wasn't too far away from where I lived. I could go to the local Walmart. I could go to the local Walmart and be like, this is the Walmart I go to. So it still felt like home. The dogs were nice. They were big. They shed all the time. She said, don't try and clean it up. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I said, okay. She had a big binder full of stuff. Honestly, I think a lot of people get annoyed by that. I felt very comforted knowing that she cared and that I could cross all the T's, dot all the I's. She made cookies for me. They were incredible. I low-key want to shoot her a text right now and be like, what was that cookie recipe? She'll go, who are you? Stop texting me. And then I have to show up at her house, which I would never do. So stop DMing me about all that. Anyways. I enjoyed this house. This is where I made all the Pud cards. And I drew the pictures and I colored on the picture with colored pencil. I filmed a Pudecast there. That's when I was feeling good. This is New Year's. This is after New Year's. This is this year now. We've made it to January. Let's continue. I did film a YouTube video in that house and I got really loud and I would get nervous that the neighbors were going to be like, hey, your dog sitter was screaming all night and it scared us and can you maybe check on him? The answer is, yeah, I'm fine. Don't I look like someone who's fine? Whoa, look at my widow's peak. Thanks, genetic dad. God. Why am I doing this? Half an hour of talking and I don't even fucking know English. Anyways, we're nice. The dog was nice. I said that already. RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17 premiered while I was there. I don't think she had a camera. If she did, she hid it really well. I snooped through her bathroom a little bit because I needed acetone for something. We don't need to talk about it. And it was pretty successful. And I remember leaving that house and going, that was nice. That was a good way to end it. I think I'm done. So then my brother's like, hey, you want job? I said, how'd you know? This is around the time my brother and I start getting close. He goes, my boss is looking for someone to work at the little store. I work at the big store. I'm a big boy. I'm 26. You're little. You're 21. Do you want to work at this store? I said, sure. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Actually, a lot to gain. A lot of money. He paid me a lot of money. I end up getting that job, and I was about to do another house, and I was scheduled to do another house. I said, I literally don't know if I can do that. I actually don't know if I can bring myself to do that. So then I tell the guy, hey, I hate to say this, but I got a job somewhere else and I start training today. I didn't. And I can't come to the new house you want me to sit. I'm sorry. He's really nice about it. I get a new job at this appliance store and I become number 1 salesman. Just kidding. I was number 2 salesman and there were only 3 people who worked there. But I would work at the little store by myself, and then I had a coworker who would come in on the weekends, but he would sometimes not show up, and so I would still have to come in. And I was working 5 days a week, 10 to 5. First time I ever had a job that was longer than 3 hours or just dog sitting, and it was really stressful. And I started that job when Mayhem by Lady Gaga came out, and that was a saving grace for me. If you need something to get your mind off of your shitty job, listen to a Lady Gaga album high in your backyard, sitting on your hands with earbuds in. Not AirPods, earbuds. Because low-key, those give better sound. Or are my AirPods just broken? More of this at 6. That was a life changer. basically what I would do every day is I would sit and I would wait and I would watch movies or YouTube videos or play a game or make bracelets. I got into making bracelets because I needed a hobby. Because you need a hobby when you do nothing all day. And I would sit and then I would go and stand. Guess how many customers we would get a week? 3! Count them. 1, 2, 3. And so we barely made sales, and that was really interesting because I was like, am I doing a bad job? My brother was like, no one comes to that store, so don't even worry about it. Also, brother being manager was pretty nice because then I could kind of talk back and yell at him and it wouldn't be a thing. And so I appreciated that. It's fine. I would sweep at night. I would me when I can't say my L's. Sorry. I would sweep like at the end of the day. And then I would still a 45-minute commute there and back every single day. So keep that in your back pocket and fuck it. It was nice. It was structured. I did the artist's way while I was there. Let me tell you, didn't help very much. I was creative before. It ruined my life. Don't buy that book. I'm just kidding. I might do it again. Watch me do it again. You'll never know because you don't know what's coming next for me. I don't know what's coming next for me. So then it gets to the point where I'm like, wait a minute, what's my purpose? And then that's where I re-enter a very deep spiritual psychosis again. Where we'll call this May. May I? I will. About May, I get back into spiritual psychosis. I'm like, whoa, is this what I meant to do with my life? Sell used washers to people who actually need washers that work, and these ones don't work, and I know they don't work, but I have to say that they work so that I make a sale so that the job makes money? Okay, God, this is weird. Is my mouth foaming? Because I've noticed that when I talk too much, my mouth starts to foam. And I don't know what that means, but maybe I should go to a doctor. I haven't been to a doctor in like 4 years. Now that I'm thinking about it, like a checkup, haven't encountered one. Back to the store. So then I'm like, okay, maybe I want to, get back into clown stuff and care about clown stuff. And so I try. I would sneak a big duffel bag full of fabric and stuff. And then there was this, we had this garage in the back because it's just a little store. The camera's pointing at me. I can't really do anything crazy, ooky spooky fun. So there's this door, and then into the back there's a garage. That's where I would load people's appliances into their trunk because I'm strong. Look at this. I'm strong. Also, here's what's so annoying. I'm not strong, but I was always the big kid in school. So whenever like the teacher's like, can we have the big kids come up and help our strongest little soldiers to come lift this table? Eyes would fly to me. Why are you looking at me? I'm good for like being a goalie in soccer, but it's not like I can lift. I mean, I could lift a table. That's the thing. I could. And I did. Many a times. I need to wrap up because my camera is about to die. Basically what happened after that was he stopped paying us, and then he stopped paying rent at the store, and then he stopped paying the electric bill. And we said, what? What's going on there? Do you want to, I don't know, explain? He didn't. And then he just paid us all of our checks and then decided to stop paying rent at the big store. My brother, being the manager, got first dibs at hours at the little store. So I'm out of a job until he gets a new lease for a bigger store. Do I think he will? I don't know. Definitely not going to happen in the next 3 months. That's much I can tell you. So we're going to podcast in the meantime so that I can give my life structure and feel like I have purpose, even if there isn't a purpose in life. I'm going to make one. I'm going to dig one out of the ground. Through all those times, I was extremely emotionally sensitive to literally everything. Everything was bad. Everything hurt more than it needed to, and I felt worthless. So, if you've been looking at my videos and you've been enjoying my videos and you've been saying, "Whoa, look at that clown. He looks cool and fun, like he's having a good time," I wasn't. I was actually deeply in the midst of a psychosis, and I was struggling every day. Then my camera died. So, thanks for watching the Pudecast. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for caring. Thanks for smooching me on the mouth. Made me feel like a boy again. I feel non-binary these days. Sorry. Thanks for watching. Keep watching. If I make more, hopefully they'll be better. This was a little bit of a bad one. Should I make YouTube videos? Comment down below. What else do you want to see from me? I don't know what else to do. I'm very emotionally and creatively burnt out. I do not know where to go next. So, again, kiss me on the mouth, and I'll see you in the next one.